So I was just thinking to myself, right? And I'm going to go right into today's topic. I'm not going to waste no time because if you don't know where you are right now, just take the time out to read the title. You see the title. Are you punishing yourself because you don't feel worthy? Okay. Most of us, we don't come out and just say this. Or do we? Some of us come out and we say this in different ways. But we, as humans, rare do we want to admit that we are punishing ourselves. It just sounds weird, right? It sounds kind of sadist. It really sounds kind of freaky in some type of way. But because of who you're around or how you were raised, you won't allow the very other utterance, yeah, utterance to come out your mouth that like I'm punishing myself. I'm yes, I'm doing this to myself because I don't feel worthy. Now, maybe in your head, maybe somewhere deep down in your head, you know that you could be taking a very self-destructive route to get back at most of the guilt you feel inside. This topic comes up because I know countless times in my life, and like I even found myself kind of slipping back to this safe mentality. Yeah. And it's weird that like it could become like a real safe place, even though it's not safe at all. So I slipped back, and I was consistently slipping back into the spot whenever I would purposely, uh, or some maybe not even purposely, maybe like unintentionally engage in like a lot of self-destructive things, or there be, or maybe I feel very guilty about different fantasies that have come up, and or my escapist habits. So you try to escape from reality, from from different situations that you got to face in life. And so you take these different routes to try to escape, try to escape out of it. And it's just totally unhealthy, very unhealthy. And so because of that, because you start engaging in this stuff, and it builds and builds and builds, and it goes unaddressed. And you're an adult now, you know so you don't have mommy or daddy around to like say, hey, I'm gonna put you on timeout. You're wrong for what you're doing. You don't do that. No, 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 bad boy. Instead, you start punishing yourself because of all of the guilt that you feel in. It's very unhealthy. It's very unhealthy. It's very unhealthy for the spirit. It's uh, it presses down more on on the ego, and we're gonna talk about ego too in a second. It, it completely shatters your confidence, and before you know it, you find it so hard to recover out of depression, to deal with like the anxiety, uh, and when you visiting some of the places where you have engaged in some of the destructive activities, like you you sit there like totally disassociating from reality, you find yourself like splitting into you. It's like oh, I just don't want to visit. I just don't want to visit it. I'm back at the crimes. It's like you like the murderer back at the crime scene, and you know you're guilty of it, and so you find yourself just just feeling even more unworthy, you know, and it's just this invisible wordiness. You know, where does that come from? Okay, where does it even come from where we have to put a measure or measuring stick on, you know, how worthy we feel to be alive, or how worthy we feel to each other as human beings? Where does that come from? Well, the 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 most easy route to go would be, you know, what they tell you on TV. Then the next easiest would be what your friends tell you about, you know, worthiness. What you're worth. You know what you bring to the table. Then after that would be just what families say, and then you know you can bring it down closer to like what what your parents been, you know, putting inside of you, you know, telling you how much you're worth. So then, you know, you got everybody else's, right, measurement of worthiness and how much you're worth. And so you're fighting against that. You're constantly fighting against that, constantly fighting against, you know, you know, understanding and measuring, you know, this whole idea, this whole invisible idea of worth, you know, being worthy. And so when things don't go right, and then you run into these self-destructive behaviors, or or these, you fall into these escapist habits, these habits that's just like just totally just woo, you wouldn't invite nobody else into, you're totally just taking yourself out of just reality. You think you're totally just taking yourself to reality. You're still in the same reality. You ain't left nowhere. You ain't Thanos snap yourself out of nowhere. You're still here. There's no multiverse. So you know, not that like anybody has invented a way for us to jump into another multiverse or anything like that. If you know of someone that has done so, hook a brother up. But anyway, when we do these things and we feel this guilt comes so much so because, again, this invisible idea of how much we worth comes from like the outside. You know, everybody telling us like, you know, you're worth this much, and you have to do X, Y, and Z to be worth this much, or you have to behave this way to be worth this much, or you know what you bring to the table is worth this much. Hmm. It's and then you get lost in trying to create your own identity and really strengthen your own ego about what you're truly worth. And and because, and you know, I promise to bring up ego again, and because you have a weakly defined ego, and of course identity is the other piece of this. This is why you punish yourself, because you don't feel worthy. A real huge piece of why you punish yourself, because you don't feel worthy. why I have punished myself because I don't feel worthy. Because the ego is weakly defined, and the identity is so much contaminated by so many inputs from the outside. What did he say? What she say? What's on TV? What you read in a book? What you see in a movie? What's written on a T-shirt? How clothes make you feel when you wear them? How a car make you feel when you step inside of it because it's a certain brand name? Your identity, your ego gets weakly defined. It becomes not who you truly are to the core. It's so important to start understanding who you are to the core. And we have to really strengthen this ego. And it starts by, just looking at our childhood. Yeah. If we begin to understand who our identity is as a childhood, we got to go right back to the very beginning. Look at where it all started at as a child. Where we was most innocent at. Where like we played make believe. We truly believe we can be whoever we truly could be. Before that day when someone said, "Oh, you want to be a rocket scientist? Well, that's just stupid. Oh, you wanted to be and I'm just making something up here. You want to be a ballerina? You want to be an artist? You want to be such and such, whatever? But that's just plain stupid. That's silly. Or you look silly doing that. Or you should do it this way." You got to go back to that point, revisit that point. When you can revisit that point back in life, before you started getting corrupted, you start revealing, the true core of yourself, and then you see that you shamelessly did life. You did life. You lived life. Everybody thinks life is so much fun when they finally get a certain amount of money, when they finally get what they've been waiting on all their lives, when they finally reach a golden age of 16, able to get the driver's license, in certain states, or 18, able to vote, 21, able to drink, 25, able to get into more clubs, or able to travel. So everybody thinks that uh, these different pivotal moments are when we finally truly live, but we were already living before we got all of these extra things. All these extra things did not define our worth. They were just add-ons to what we were already worthy as. We came into this world already naked, uh, already loved. We were made out of love. And the moment that we stepped away from that and started relying so much on outside things to determine our worth, because someone told us that, like, you need this in order to be worth this much or this much. That's when we missed the point. That's when we dropped the mark. We have been taken advantage of, both literally and figuratively, and we continue to be taken advantage of. And because of this, because like there's been some amount of hurt, and there's a lot of unaddressed hurt, where we stuffing the fact that we've been taken advantage of, and we got this government that continue to take advantage of us, and we have people that we trust that take advantage of us, or people that we want to trust that takes advantage of us. Oh man, it's terrible. So you end up having all these unaddressed feelings, and it makes you feel so bad about yourself. It makes you feel so bad about yourself. It makes you feel like that you are truly the problem, and that you're the issue. And then for some people, they will just take that energy and continue to spell it on others. They will take it out on other people. They will, transfer that energy on other people. Yeah. For some other people, they will just remain the victim. You know, and they'll just open themselves up for more attacks, and more pins and needles to be stuffed in the heart. And boy, isn't that a sad way to live. And then others, they just numb and walk through life, never ever addressing it, never ever knowing truly who they were before they were taken advantage of. And then so they just go with the motion, go with the flow, allowing so much, so much influence, to just, and it's not so much influence that they allow in. They just go with the influence, and just so they don't look like the outward one. And so they take their jobs a lot more serious, a lot more literal. And then you see them, they always straight face too. They always straight face, and you wonder why does this person never smile? You can never get a smile or a personality out of this person, because they're like literally just numb. They're numbing all the time, and it's just very terrible. It's very terrible that we got so many people that just numbing through life. Um, uh, we got to really pray for the people, and of course we got to pray for ourselves, uh, as well too, so that if we do, which most of us do, have a weekly defined ego, even more so, in identity, even more so now, uh, especially after COVID. COVID having like sheltered us in, had us sheltered in, and then we exposed ourselves and indulged ourselves so much more in social media, and we had no choice but to be exposed to the trends and all this different crazy stuff that was going on in the world. So we were all part of it, all linked arms, and if you wasn't part of it, yeah, you just was the oddball out, and nobody wanted to be the oddball out. So we have to work to strengthen our ego again. I think a healthy confidence level, a healthy ego, and a healthy identity, to be uniquely who you are. Be who you are, not what somebody wants you to be, not what some not what you think you should be, but just be. You know, that great saying, don't do, don't try, just do. So we got a long way to go. Um, I just wanted to put this out there because you know I I had a situation that I encountered. I said it on another podcast I did earlier, where I encountered a person that I know was clearly hurt. That I know that you know because they don't feel worthy of themselves. They rather engage in self-destructive behavior. You know, they rather destroy their own character. They rather seek out to escape from what reality really is, to seek out to transfer that energy to somebody else. So they were trying to trying to transfer that energy to me by hurting me. They try to hurt me, and by coming at me aggressively, because there's a way we can deal with people, even if it's our job, even if it's our job to, to carry out rules, to meet the standard, you know. But we cannot allow ourselves to get defined by what our job is either. We are not defined by what our job title is, which is what we say here. So even people who has went through the hiring process, gotten their jobs, they got the title, they still would go so far and beyond to abuse what they have, and not be compassionate, not for themselves, and especially not for others, because they are taking that lack of compassion for themselves to take it out on someone else. Okay. And at first I was very charged. After the incident, I was, in very, very much human nature to be very charged about it. I was very charged and ready to just use my platform just to blast the place all up. Um, I was ready to, you know, make judgment, place labels on the whole situation. But after just looking back on it now, I was like, you know what? Nah, these are hurt people. These are hurt people. I'm just gonna go, follow through the protocol of file a complaint. I'm not gonna make tag no judgments on it. Not gonna tag any labels. You know, because it's important for me to know my own worthiness, know who I am, so that I don't punish myself for something I did not do. You know. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys, got some out of this one today. I'm pretty much sure you did. If you didn't, you can always follow up with me, ask questions. I'm always here for guidance. Should you need me, my Instagram is right here at @MarcusHart_official. Make sure you share this if you really like this. Leave a comment if you, again, have questions, or just want to leave some feedback, rather positive or negative. I'm open to all of it. Until next time, many blessings, peace, and lots of love.